Is it on? It's on. Okay. So, I'm about to do my blog for the new student dialogue. And let's see, they got some questions here for me to answer, so I'll do that one. Mine was the poverty simulation thing, by the way. So it says, describe your experience in this new student dialogue. Well, it was an interesting experience. As far as I could tell, it was different than normal student dialogue because it was like a simulation rather than a discussion. Like there was a discussion at the end, but like most of it was the poverty simulation. And let's see, there are 5 questions, so I'll just devote a minute to each thing. So, it was a pretty interesting experience. Like, when we got in there, we each got a name tag, and each name tag had a name tag, okay. But, and we all got into families. Forgot what my family's last name was, but my name was Brian. And I was 8 years old, and I had an older sister who was like a teenager, and she was pregnant, and I had an older brother who was like 10. And I had a dad who was out of work and a mom who worked at a hospital. And yeah, we just sort of simulated our lives. It was pretty depressing. A lot of bad shit happened. Yeah, it was pretty hard to get by, and like in the end most people got evicted, but we didn't. Like we almost did. Anyways, what surprised you? Why? Okay, what surprised me was that when I heard that we were going to do a poverty thing, I thought we were just going to be like on our own, but they put it into families, or at least most of us. There was this one guy who was like this 85-year-old man who was stuck with his cat. Well, he was an exception. Most of us were with families. And I guess that makes sense because, most people in poverty, well, I don't know if most, but most people I know at least are in families because, you got to support each other. But other things that surprised me, which I thought were kind of interesting, was that they gave us like little cards with random chance type things that went on because, after all, in life, shit happens. So, like, for example, I got expelled from school, and my sister also got expelled from school and sent to jail because apparently she had brought a gun to class. And then our window got broken, and our utility bills doubled, and it was just a mess. Only bad stuff happened to us. Apparently some people were like won the lottery or something, but that never happened with our group. Anyway, what was your interaction with other participants? Your family, your neighbors, your coworkers, your peers, etc. Well, with family, it was pretty fun. I liked my group. They were pretty fun. But, Mom could have made some better decisions, most definitely. Like, but anyway, they're cool. But neighbors, on the other hand, we actually had to rob a lot of our neighbors during the thing. Like, we didn't have that much money, and we realized that the only way we were going to get by is if we stole other people's stuff, so at one point we just went around robbing people when they weren't like watching their money. So, and we still barely got by, so it's not good. But yeah, that was mostly the interaction we had. We probably should have like worked together. Like they described, the people who ran the thing like described how one time multiple groups got together and helped support each other, which I think is what we should have done, because when you think about it, most people or not most people, but a lot of people who are poor who have like their cousins and their grandparents and all of them like supporting each other. So like, yeah, I think that's something we should have done. Question 4: what stands out to you most about this experience? Well, what stood out immediately was that it was an interactive type experience, that it was like that, like, as I said before, it wasn't a discussion so much as it was a simulation. And it definitely, I guess we learned more that way. And what else stood out to me was, I think, that they were trying to get it to us that poverty sucks. Like, nobody ended out well. Well, some people did, but they were homeless to begin with. Most of them ended up doing better off than how they started. But when you start out homeless, I mean, you can't get much worse. So, like, the suckiness of being poor definitely was drilled into us at that point in this. So, yeah, one thing I didn't like is that the people got sort of pissed off whenever we sort of alluded to that being poor may be easier, or maybe easy, or that we don't see poor people or something. I got the feeling that either they had been poor once, or they know a lot of poor people. Well, they do. They work with like social institutions, but so I think their reactions were a little wrong, because yes, some of the people in there were being ignorant, but you don't have to fire back at them. You should expect that in this sort of thing, especially when you're dealing with like Clemson students. Most of them are like rich people, so. But let's see. How has this experience impacted you now? Impacted, that's not the correct way to use that, but how has it affected me or had an impact on me? Well, definitely discourages me from wanting to be poor. Shut up. And let's see. That's pretty much it. Like, I'm going to avoid being poor now, but also it has shown me how to do it if you are poor. Although I probably wouldn't rob people like I did in the simulation. Like, that's not cool. Like, you shouldn't rob from other poor people. They're rich people maybe, but there are some institutions that we probably didn't take advantage of, like the church and stuff in there. We didn't get food stamps until later on. So yeah, if I was poor, I'd go about it a little bit smarter than how I did in the simulation. But yep, that wraps it up. So I'm at 8 minutes and 30 seconds. I just bossed this, so